It's like,
what's up, guys? What is going on, everybody? Kyle Williams here with our favorite Clover's Huddy Jack flavor. I said favorite. Cherry, vanilla, and chocolate. What is going on, everybody? Kyle Williams here with Huddy, Jack, and Dom. We just want to share that we have a boot camp coming up. This will be our third boot camp in the beautiful, lovely city that never sleeps, New York City, March 2nd through 4th, along with the VIP that's via.
join us in New York City from March 2nd through the 4th. That's a Saturday through a Monday where you will hear presentations from all the Clovers plus special guests on Saturday and Sunday, and then a half day of live trading on the Monday. We'll also have a special VIP dinner on Monday night on the 4th with an added day of live trading on the 5th if you do choose the VIP package.
This event is all access to us for the Clovers. You're gonna learn every little bit about our trading styles, from fundamentals to technicals. Definitely give it a shot if you're really serious about trading.
We have a very special guest this time with Nate returning, as well as Steven Dux, one of the top traders in the small cap industry, will be there. So I'm really looking forward to it. So hope to see you guys there.
It's like,
What?
Good morning. Welcome in to another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ. Here we are on the day after. What do you call it? What the eve is before? What's the day after something?
Post.
Here we are post Super Bowl
Post-Sunday.
something. As official, folks, we are out of sports to watch until college football in the fall, and all we have left is just survive what's left of this winter until golf season. I hope you all are having a great day. Hope you had a good weekend, spent some time with friends and family. We had a birthday over the weekend over here at Clover, Mr. Kyle Williams. So a couple claps for Kyle. Happy birthday. He is now
Thank you.
32 years young.
That's not valid. 32 minus 4.
So everyone in chat, in the Clover YouTube chat, if you want to wish Kyle happy birthday, throw a dub in the chat. You know how it goes. Welcome in, welcome in. Here we are, Monday, February 12th, 2024. Just kicking our way through February, seeing what this week has to offer. Last week, of course, we had some crazy micro, nano, small float runners in the Chinese scam industry of Holo, HKIT, MLGO, and many, many more, going hundreds of percent, thousands of percent, and still relatively volatile and still in play going into this week. I posted my watch list. I think Kyle posted his as well last night. So if you want access to those, make sure you join 3 or 4 Leaf Clover. You can get access to that for 7 days for $7. And you can take a look at that every single night. Me and Kyle post our watch list of our actual plans right here in Good Morning NASDAQ. We're going to talk about our the biggest gappers, the biggest movers in the market today. So not necessarily what our immediate plans are to trade, but we do know how much you guys love your gappers. So we're going to talk about them, go through a little fundamentals, go through a little bit of technicals, go through the daily charts, see if there's anything blatant in there that we see a direct edge one way or the other, or if it's something we would ignore. Make sure that you've hit that like button on your way in. Make sure that you are subscribed right here to the Clover Trading YouTube channel. Show your support for us. We're here every single day the market is open, giving you free content, sometimes multiple times a day. We do Good Morning NASDAQ Monday through Friday, Wine Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we post videos every single week as well. So I don't think you're going to regret hitting that subscribe button. We're here jam-packed every single week. All right, Kyle, how we doing?
We're feeling tired. Wish we rested a little bit longer.
Okay.
But we're here. We're ready to make it happen.
Do you ever get
And,
I remember feeling this way in like boot camps on the West Coast when you say you're out a little too late, 11, 12 o'clock, and you got to get up at like 5 or 5:30. You wake up and you're like on your way to the venue, or like for you right now, just sitting here whenever I'm talking, you just get like sad that like you're not gonna be able to sleep again until later. And you're just like, I wish I just got more sleep. Like you actually, there's a little bit of sadness of just like, I have to go do my day now.
No, I wouldn't say sadness. Just, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know what the word is, like delayed gratification. Like just make it through. We get a nap later.
Yeah, I'm not a napper. But yeah, I mean, me, I'm almost 30. You in your low 30s. You get tired and you gotta, You got to really focus on sleep, and that's something I've learned a lot in the last few years. If you can get yourself 7 to 9 hours, you're a different type of beast, you know.
I've learned I need at least a good 8. So
Did you take till you were 30, or did you learn a few years earlier?
when I was 20 years old, which has been for 2 days, a good 8 is what
A
we
good
need.
8. You heard it here first, guys. Get yourself a good 8. All right, we do have a couple 100% gappers, and they appear to not be 4 cents, so that's good. A couple other 60% gappers, so let's go through. Let's talk about them.
Few of them.
What's the first one on the list is BMR.
Top one on mine is BMR.
That is Beamer Imaging.
Yeah,
8.35 million float coming out of the country of Israel. They provide video encoding, transcoding, and optimization solutions in the United States, Israel, and internationally. I thought when you say United States and Israel, you're already international, but they wanted to throw that in there as well.
Make that very clear.
1 hour ago, they teamed up with NVIDIA to accelerate the
no.
adoption of the newest video standard, AB1. And if you didn't know, 5 days ago, they're bringing the video technology of Google and Meta to everyone. So they're just working with everyone.
This is big news. Leader of video. It will wait. That'll present its joint research related to automated video modernization with NVIDIA. Wait, no.
It probably means NVIDIA is going to be at that presentation.
Is it joint research with NVIDIA, or are they presenting their joint research with someone else to NVIDIA? At the ACM Mile High 2024 conference being held in Denver.
It says they are provided. It says today. Them and NVIDIA are jointly presenting.
Wow. Okay.
For all of you that don't know, NVIDIA's been what's the word? Leading the stock market.
Yeah. Putting the entire thing on its back.
So if this news is real,
this is big. I don't know how big of it's gonna return. It's gonna go up, but it's certainly not something I would step in front of short. I don't know. Maybe there's dilution involved that they would use. Let's take
a look at it, right?
Let's dive in.
I see that they have a year cash left. They got an S1 offering in progress.
Offering ability is high.
Wow, it's a big move so far. So their recent IPO topped out at $8. They have some pre-IPO warrants that are not registered right now. So I'm confused why it says offering ability is so high.
Yeah, I think it's because they have the S1 that's in progress, so they can drop that any moment when it's ready. But nonetheless, I mean, you got news with NVIDIA, which is the hottest stock of the market. This doesn't surprise me at all. That's up 130%. Again, not something I would particularly long, not because I don't think it's good, but because I just don't have an understanding. This isn't a pattern that I recognize. Right? I'm not a news buyer or a small cap merges or makes a deal with large cap stocks, so you buy it. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I just know trends or themes of NVIDIA being the hottest stock in the market, BMR having a PR with them, and a possible presentation. Does it actually say when the presentation is? We should double check that, because it could be a sell the news idea if they don't say anything fantastic. It doesn't.
What did you ask?
I was saying if it says an actual time when they're going to present. It just says they're at the conference.
It says they're there, so it's 11th through the 14th, so they're there.
Yeah.
Any moment, great news could come out.
Okay. Because if they don't say anything fantastic, it could be a huge disappointment idea and sell the news. But they don't state when. So, I mean, it could happen anytime between now. It could happen anytime between today. It could happen anytime between Wednesday being the 14th. So, a little bit of uncertainty around that event.
Yeah, from a daily chart perspective, pretty fresh chart. You got highs at 8. What is that date? I just want to check the news on that. 5/25, 2023. So that they've been doing this thing with NVIDIA. Basically, all their news is NVIDIA. So that's not new. Like the idea of them being with NVIDIA. If you look at their news from that day, that was NVIDIA announces the release of some video code showcasing the integration with Beamer. So it looks like they've been friends with NVIDIA for a while. So it's not like today is the first time like groundbreaking information. If you've been following this company for a while, this is the first time it's really got going off of it. But that time it did do what we like to look at here in Good Morning NASDAQ, we take a look at the fundamentals. Usually Huddy does that. I think Kyle did a great job of that so far. Just kind of talking through how important that is, the catalyst, how far we will take that catalyst in our minds and when we actually apply it. Then from a technical perspective, it's really about what is the history of the movement? Where has the stock topped out? What is the behavior like on days it has gotten big volume and gap ups on news? And the only big one we have is, a day where it gapped to 6 from like 2, ran to 8, and then closed and then faded for multiple days. So that's the only behavior we can really play off of. It is still making highs in the pre-market right now, up to 160%. I have an 8 million float, so that's relatively not tiny. But really interesting. Not something that I'm like dying to buy on a Monday morning. It's kind of through all the levels of resistance that matter until you get towards 8. So I think everyone and their mother, if I was like, I have to short day one gappers this week with the gun to my head, I'd be sitting here going, okay, I'd want, Gritani style short into resistance. Can it push into the mid 6s, mid 7s, risking off that A area? Because that's where I expect resistance to be. That's, the last time that traded real volume was on that day. So if there's any back holders, we are just now starting to really tickle them and get right into them. From a long perspective, I really try not to buy stuff up 160% into resistance, but it's nice to see on a Monday morning that momentum from last week is continuing, and it's kind of in a different world. I didn't love the Chinese plays being the gappers. Like every morning was like lag now and top. Like that doesn't give me confidence like that's a sector that's going to stick around and we're going to get multiple legs off of. So it's nice to see something totally different running this morning, and have it kind of be connected to the overall market on one of the strongest stocks that is quite known, I think, to most small cap buyers, that NVIDIA is like leading the market. So yeah, not something I'm going to do anything with right out of the gate, but it is going to be on my watch list until the afternoon when it is either holding up and going higher or doji day oneing.
Fantabulous.
All right.
I have nothing left. I have no more to add.
Questions on BMR?
Shall we?
Okay.
Next gapper here.
Next gappulator. What do we got?
I have MGIH.
Or MIGIH. Is that what you have? MIGIH?
Yep.
Millennium Group
International. We have another international company here, guys.
Chinese packaging and container company. They're a long-established paper-based packaging solution supplier committed to providing creative and sustainable packaging solutions to worldwide brands. Keep it worldwide. What is the Step Brothers business model? Prestige worldwide.
Prestige worldwide.
Wide. I don't see news on Millennium Group International Holdings.
I see a Seeking Alpha article, but it's, let me see. It doesn't. Nope, I don't see any news on that one. Interesting.
Any filings from the weekend. They have this very interesting looking. I've never seen this number before. YC 1926 BVI Limited over the weekend, Friday. Okay, dilution wise.
It wouldn't shock me if they had a lot of dilution, but it looks like you're seeing that they don't. Just because when I look at the daily chart here, recent IPO, but since then they have had I guess technically 4 times it's tried to run, and every time it lasts for a day max, maybe 2, and proceeding the following week, we are right back down to their lows. So not a stock that has proven to really hold any of its gains. Doesn't mean it can't change that trend, but not a pretty look to start. Let's put it that way. But also not a chart that actually brought a lot in volume. I mean, it brought in 6 16, 17 million back in last June, which is a good amount, but it's nothing crazy. But even pre-market today, though, it's only had 4 million shares of traded volume, so it's probably going to not surpass that 17 million either. So if I had to guess, this is not going to close above, I don't know, if I had to throw a dart, above 250 today. I would imagine it's going to kind of crap itself, just based on chart history. But
Yeah, and you can learn a lot about.
News, so
Continue.
I was gonna, and there's no news, so there's nothing really actually justifying people to want to keep it up either, unless it's something we don't know about. But not a great catalyst. I mean, hopefully you guys see the difference between this and BMR. There's quite a big difference here on what stock's likely going to stay up or not today.
Yeah, and you got totally different looking pre-markets. One's making new highs, grinding stronger and stronger. One's kind of failing at a certain level and mid-range to low end of the range. Behavior is something really important, I think, to take into account on day ones, just because regardless, how good you are at reading dilution or how much fundamental research you've studied, the behavior of the chart can really tell you a lot. Like if you show me a super dilutive company, but you don't tell me that they're super dilutive, and you show me their daily chart, I can probably make the guesstimate that they are a super dilutive company based off of what day ones look like for them. And right now you pretty much just have wick central into this 350 area where the stock really hasn't held above that. The IPO highs are just above that in the 460s, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the stock's tried to push into that level from this 175 base. What is the float here? 1.25 million. No news. Could just be kind of going off of last week's momentum, and maybe it's just the last one to kind of trickle in. Small float stock from China, but yeah, not a lot here that's saying I want a long. Not a lot here saying I really want to be short either, but I'm sure that Huddy, wherever he is in Thailand right now, and I think he got sick over the weekend, so we're sending prayers his way. What time is it? 9 p.m. for him. So hopefully he'll be back here this week. But this is one that I would probably be more interested in if I was system-based trading like him, where we have a history of it not quite ever working and holding on to its gains throughout the day on day one. And you have just massive resistance overhead where if I was a short bias trader wanting to short day ones, any push, because this stock clearly has a history of pushing out of the gate, but just not holding it into those levels, that's where I'd be looking to try to fade it off of. So those are kind of my ideas, not really long bias at all there. If I was short bias, that's kind of how I would approach it.
Beautiful. I agree.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. Grill Trader says, awesome. First time catching you guys live and curious what the service was like. So Clover Trading. This is kind of a subset of Clover Trading. This is what we do for free here on YouTube. Try to be active in the community, give you guys as much value as we possibly can on a day-to-day basis. So welcome in. Glad you are here. Let's see if there's any questions on the recent tickers we've talked about. Throne asks, wait, so Jack is younger but look older? Jack's the baby of the group. Jack is like 25, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a youngin'.
And then me, you and Huddy are like all 1 year apart, right?
Yeah, I think we're all
goes like
28
me-
right now, unless he's 29.
I think he's 29, but maybe not.
And then you're 32. Money says, good morning. I don't gamble, but Supreme Court unlikely to rule against Trump in Colorado ballot removal. Considering small entries, fun, DWAC, or rum. Thoughts? I don't think you should preface any plan as, unless you are a very privileged trader. By that I mean have made a lot of money and can afford to take random stupid losses to be gambling at all on any trade.
Didn't Colorado, forgive me my lack of following up on that news, didn't Colorado want to ban Trump from their ballot?
Yeah, I think that's what they're talking about.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, a lot of, I think, states have tried.
Okay, and then Supreme Court, so Supreme Court's, that's in the question, duh.
So they're basically gambling on that and then gambling on if that will affect the stock price. So we have a multi-level gamble here. So you're basically gambling on Kyle going to the casino and him winning at roulette.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I personally just from a. I don't. I mean, see how justifying or how justice following what's it called the Supreme Court is. I don't think the Supreme Court ruling in favor of Colorado is a thing. I mean, if it is, I feel very uncomfortable with where our justice system is at. Not because it's nothing to do with Trump. It has everything to do with any candidate. Like states shouldn't have a power to just not put someone on a ballot. It's a U.S. thing, not a per state thing. So I don't think that, in my personal opinion, I don't think that's a gamble. But whether it affects the stock price, I think, yeah, that's the gamble. I have no idea. It's kind of been running because it's been for, I guess, previous states gambles. So it's like, just because if the Supreme Court gave or told Colorado, like, yeah, no, you're off your rocker, like that's not allowed. It doesn't mean that Trump's now won the state. He just gets to be on the ballot in the state. So, if I had a gun to my head, I would guess it doesn't affect the stock. But then again, you never know. I don't know why out of all states, New Hampshire caused DWAC to run friggin', almost 200%. So, my read on this ticker has never been that great to begin with. So, take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, my thoughts are kind of, that's just an idea. Turning that idea into an actual actionable trade plan is quite difficult. Just looking at a daily chart, I want to be taking gambles like that, where it's just like I want to get involved and see what happens, because there's not an exact time frame on it, and there's a lot of moving parts. Near stocks that are just kind of holding near lows or at the bottom where the risk is very minimal. On a stock like DWAC, it is up from $18 up towards $50 in the past month and a half, 2 months, which means any wrongness in my plan idea means a potential 20, 30, 40, 50% loss. And I've been there. I'm speaking from experience on just holding these stocks overnight, night after night after night, and waking up or seeing at 4 p.m. what bad news looks like, and offering maybe that Supreme Court really doesn't go the way you thought. Like, there's way more downside here than there is upside, versus just waiting for it to be a chart pattern and either break out over 50 or break out over 60, and then you can actually just take it for a day and a half and not have to have all that extra overnight exposure. So for me, it's just you can have that idea, but it necessarily doesn't need to be one that you gamble on. You can just take the trade as a normal day trade or a one-day swing trade, versus having the extra overnight risk of just being in the stock. Because, I learned, let me see if IMUX back in the day, this one still hurts to look at, but I had a similar idea back in here, and realized what it's like holding a stock overnight when it's up from 3 to 10, even though it's based for a couple days and weeks. The bottom where it came from is still there, and any bad news means you're losing 50, 60, 70%. So for me, it's just there's a safer way to go about it with that same exact thesis, and it doesn't mean you got to be involved that early. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button as well. I don't know why I no longer have access to seeing the likes on the main setup page, but I'd really appreciate it right now if you guys hit that thumbs up button if you like what we're talking about. The last gapper that was on there is DHAI. Do you have a full daily chart of this? My E-Trade doesn't have it.
Let's see. DHAI.
Is this like a brand
64%. It was a former SPAC, and it just de-SPAC'd like a month ago. So,
okay.
Actually 2 months ago, roughly. What are we gapping to? We're really down off our highs. SPAC started like 10, 11. We're now down at 2. We gapped down just a couple days ago from 5 to 130. So not a pretty look at all. In fact, actually, an intraday chart I don't have. I can't see. I can only see the last 2 days. So maybe it just de-SPAC'd. Yeah. Like maybe they announced who they were merging with, and then the last couple of days they've finally become a company. So anyone who owned the SPAC from $10 is now down 80%. Congrats. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look pretty. At least, and even by pre-market standards, gosh, we're down 50% off our highs now from 4 to 2. Whatever the news is, it certainly has not kept us up here. Oh, well, it says, no, that's on the 9th.
There's
On
just
the
a
ninth
lot
day, I
of
did it.
not a lot of information here, which kind of makes it really easy for me to never look at the stock again. I don't like SPACs. I don't like no news. I don't like daily charts I can't see. I don't like 2-day charts. I don't like stocks that set their high at 7 a.m. and then are still making new lows right now. If you just kind of focus on, even, depending where you find yourself looking in the market, whether it's like the way we look at, which is multi-day patterns, looking for extension, to shorting day ones, longing day ones. If you kind of focus on the same subset of types of tickers, like strong stocks, you're generally going to be finding better opportunities. And this kind of intraday so far is just super weak. Like, it's a pretty clean downtrend, and there's just not enough information for me to put the thesis. Like, if I had a gun to my head again and I had to trade stocks this morning, like BMR, like look at the difference in the intraday between BMR and DHAI. One is clearly the stronger stock. Doesn't mean that BMR has to continue higher out of the gate into the open and continuing on, but that's the one where everyone's attention is going to be, and maybe that's where the bigger edge is, long or short. But
Was BMR in the fours when we first found it?
was it
Or
what?
was it BMR in like the high fours when we first
Yeah,
brought it on
480s,
stream?
490s.
And now it's at 6. Very nice.
It's going higher. What did I say the daily level was? 8?
8.
Wow.
$8.
Very cool. Very cool. See if there's any other questions before we get on out of here. Someone asked about LAES semiconductor small cap play daily breakout. I don't think that's happening. Lays is kind of a weird trader. It's nowhere near the highs right now. The breakout level is not 350. The breakout level is 4. And we're at
And now it's
250.
4.
So we're very far away from that. So bring it up to me in a week and we can rehash it again.
We can circle back to this.
We'll circle back. OPTI, OTC. I just can't get myself to trade an 0.003 stock right now. Trading 100 to 200 mil shares. So no thank you. Nice to see some momentum there. It's an oldie. If you go back on the chart, we've traded that one in the past. But at 0.003, 0.02, it's a no
too
for
low.
me. Happy birthday, Kyle. Stop sending me friend requests on Discord.
That wouldn't be me. That would be a scammer.
MINM first green day. No, MINM had its first green day on Friday. First green day means the stock went green and closed green. That's what it did on Friday. It also did it on 482,000 shares. I actually did trade that. It was pitiful. So no, definitely not watching it going forward. Lunar is one that I didn't see till the afternoon Friday. It's an oldie, one that had a pretty insane move from the 10s up to the 100s back in 2020. Was it 2023? Wow.
Yeah, what? I thought it was like
So
2022.
decent
but yeah.
breakout there over the $4 area. Not one that would have ever really been on my watch. Just volume wasn't like insane, but really nice extension off that level. 4 to, looks like it got as high this morning in the 770s. So cool there, but we're on day 2 of the breakout, so no watch for me. We're up 19%. If it was gapping up into the 7s or 8s, you maybe would have an overextended gap up situation. What's the float on Lunar these days? 17 mil. Wow, they've definitely not diluted. Because remember, wasn't that tiny? No, maybe it wasn't tiny before.
I think it was tiny.
It was
before, to
locked
be
up or
honest.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice move. We'll see where it goes, but there's no edge there for me today. I don't know. I don't think that's up enough for you, Kyle.
No. Maybe another day or two. But right here, it just kind of it's eh. It's eh.
If I could type. Someone asked about WISH. It's a day 1 runner. I don't really have a lot here. This looks like a pretty thick. No news that I see. It's a 915. I'm not diving into that one right now. All right, last question. SYRA MLGOH kit for screen day watch. Yep, for sure. If you want more details on that, head on over to the Clover Trading Room because that's where I'm going to go talk about here in a moment. It is 9:15. But yeah, kind of watching to see where Holo goes this week. Does a break below the 18s and flush lower down towards 10, or do we get a bounce back into the mid 20s, low 30s for kind of a bounce short type of fade. That's kind of the question. I think, there's definitely a world where they all kind of do their own thing. The SYRAs, the MLGOs, HKIT. What is another one? Yeah, I guess that's the majority. WIMI. And maybe some of those bounce while holo's not bouncing. But generally, there is some sort of unison going on. So we'll see if today is more red or bounce back type of day. I will be watching those to this morning, though. Anything you'd like to say, Kyle, to the people of YouTube?
No. Have a good week, guys. Keep it simple.
That's what you want to tell them.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's
Have a good
anything in my
week.
book.
Make a trade plan. Follow your trade plan. Trust your trade plan. Study up if you make mistakes. I made a good video lesson over the weekend or yesterday talking about my mistakes last week, preparing to be better for this week. And so hopefully you guys do the same. And wish you all a profitable week.
That's awesome. And I'm just going to read something out of Meditations of Marcus
Okay.
Aurelius. That which has grown from earth to the earth, but that which has sprung from heavenly seed back to the heavenly realms returns. This is either a dissolution of the mutual involution of the atoms or a similar dispersion of the unsentient elements. Hope you guys have a great Monday. If you want access 7 days for $7 over in the Clover trading room, get access to 4-Leaf, get access to trade alerts, video lessons, webinars, archive webinars, all that good stuff. And we'd love to see you in there. Love to have you. Boot camp tickets are available. You got like 3 weeks till the boot camp in New York City. Super excited. Working on our presentations right now. I hope you all have a great start to your week. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:45 a.m. right here. Clover Trading YouTube channel. Good morning, NASDAQ. Have a wonderful day.